Hello friends, welcome to today's lesson. Today we're learning about spatial sense. Well, spatial may look like a very big word, but it means space. Simply means space. Now, spatial sense means the space an object occupies. What position does an object occupy? When you see an object, how would you know the position it occupies? Well, we're going to learn it today, and by the end of this class, you understand what spatial sense is. Now, let's get along with it. Here we have a boy and a girl, and we also have a Christmas tree. They are lighting up the Christmas tree. But what space is the boy standing at? Where is he standing, and where is the girl standing? And what position is the Christmas tree standing at? Well, let's take a look. We have the boy towards the left hand side, so he's occupying the left space. Now we have the girl standing by the right hand side, so she's at the right hand side. And where is the Christmas tree? Is the Christmas tree by the left? Well, it's occupied by someone else. Is the Christmas tree by the right? Well, it's also occupied by someone else. Then where can we say the Christmas tree is standing at? Well, we could say it's standing at the middle of the boy and the girl. So its space occupied is the middle space. That's a simple concept of what spatial sense means. Where an object occupies, the space an object occupies. Now let's take a look at another example. We have a column here. A column is just like this big bar here, so it's not something new. A column. Now in the column we have three box shapes. We have the heart, we have a triangle, and we have a square. Now, what space is the heart occupying? What space is the triangle occupying? And what space is the square occupying? We can say left or right here. Well, they look like they're standing on the same line. But there's another way we could say their positions or the space they occupy. Now, starting with the heart. The heart is occupying the top space. As we can see, it's at the top. Up. Top. But the triangle is not at the top, neither is it at the left or the right. So what space is it occupying? Well, we can see it's occupying the middle space. It's at the middle. The middle space. Some people could call it the center, but it's practically being called the middle space. Now, what about the square? Is the square at the top? No, that's been occupied. Is the square at the middle space? Well, the triangle is there, so it can't fit. So what space is the square occupying? Now, the square is at the bottom. At the bottom of the column. That's the space it's occupying. Now, there's a more complex look when we talk about spatial sense. And we have an example here. We have a grid. This is called a grid. And a grid has, well, different boxes in it, different spaces. And to locate those spaces, we have to know their locations by giving them names. Well, it's very easy. Don't be scared. Now, where can we find the square? What space is the square occupying? I've looked around the grid and I found the square at a very good position. But what name are we going to give to that position? What name are we going to give to that position? So, it's not at the middle, but it's at the top. And it's towards the left. So it's called the top left corner. The square is at the top left corner. It's at the top and it's close to the left hand side, or it's at the left hand side, so it's at the top left corner. What about the triangle? What space is the triangle occupying? Now, it's also not at the middle, but it's at the top, and it's towards the right hand side, so it's occupying the top right corner. The triangle is occupying the top right corner in the grid. Now, let's move a little bit down. What space is the circle occupying? What space is the circle occupying? Now, it's not at the top, neither is it at the middle, but it's at the bottom and it's towards the left. So we say it's occupying the bottom left corner. Yeah, the bottom left corner. The circle occupies the bottom left corner in the grid. Now, what space is the carrot occupying? If a rabbit were to be in the grid, what space will the rabbit locate the carrot? Well, we all know the bottom right corner. It's towards the bottom and also towards the right hand side. So the carrot is occupying the bottom right corner. Good job. Yeah. Now, here's another scene, and we have our friend here, Jack. And Jack is with a gift for us, but the gift will be if we answer the questions he has. Now, what are the things on top of the table? What are the things occupying the top space of the table? And what is the position we're going to call those things? What is the space? We can't just say top, or we can't just say right, left. We can't just say middle, but there's a name for it. So what are the objects at the top space of the table? Or you could say, what objects are above the table? Now, we have two objects above the table. We have a plate containing some cups, and we also have a cup occupying the top space. They are above the table. Now, where can we say the box is occupying? What position, what space is the box occupying? In this room, what space is the box occupying? The box is not just to the right, not to the left, it's not at the middle, it's not at the top. So what space is it occupying? Well, that's easy. The box is below the table. Now, we've learned two things just now, like now, above and below. The box is below the table. The cup and the bowl is above the table, while the box is below the table. Now, what about our friend Jack? What space is Jack occupying? He's with our gift, so don't forget we have to collect our gift at the end. What space is Jack occupying? No, that's very easy. Jack is beside the table. Hello, Jack. He's beside the table. He's not above the table and he's not below the table, but he's beside the table. If beside looks too big to call, you could say next to, just like the basket. The basket is next to the table. That's how Jack is. Jack is also next to the table, but you could say he's beside the table. You could say the basket is also beside the table, but any one of them goes next to the table or beside the table. So we see the plate and the cup are above the table. The box is below the table, and Jack is beside the table as well as the basket. Well, here's an activity for you. What is at the top? We have a column there having three different objects. What is occupying the top space in the column? What is occupying the top space? I know you know it. I know. Yeah. Number 2, choose the space, the shape, sorry. Choose the shape in the top left corner. Choose the shape in the top left corner. We have a lot of shapes in this grid. So tell me, what shape is occupying the top left corner? I know you had a very nice time, and I know you've learned a lot about spatial sense. I'd love to see you in the next class. Bye bye.